Imagine living in the most picturesque community with natural beauty all around you, top tier education, and a strong sense of community. Well, we can make that happen for you in San Luis Obispo County, and we're going to share all of the reasons why you should make a move to the Central Coast of California. Welcome back to the Happy House Hacking Podcast. We are your hosts, Camille and Owen Schwigerly. We are realtors, investors, and happy house hackers. And today we get the pleasure of telling you why moving to the Central Coast of California is one of the best decisions you will ever make. So if you've ever considered moving to our area, let us tell you why San Luis Obispo County will be the best choice you've ever made.
Okay, so top 10 reasons to make a move to San Luis Obispo County. So number one is the location. We're right on the Central Coast of California, 3 hours south of the Bay Area, 3 hours north of Los Angeles. So it's really convenient because you're like halfway in between San Francisco and Los Angeles, right there on the coast off of Highway 101.
Yeah, and we're only an hour and a half away from Monterey and an hour and a half away from Santa Barbara. So we're really smack dab in the middle of everything. That is awesome. And we're still pretty undiscovered. I mean, a lot of people only know us because of Cal Poly, the best university ever is located in our town. Go Mustangs. But really, we're kind of a hidden gem. So when people do end up moving here, they're just blown away by the easy access for location and all of the other amazing amenities that we're going to dive into.
Absolutely. So step two, they have a really big farm to table food scene here. So if you care about organics or if you care about agriculture and where your food comes from, San Luis Obispo County has so many different farmers markets. And even our favorite one is downtown San Luis Obispo every Thursday night. And it really showcases the beauty of what the Central Coast is with so many different exhibits and booths of farmers and local businesses getting out there to support each other.
Yeah, it's so fun when you are a regular at the farmers markets. The farmers remember you. And I remember one time the best strawberries ever from our favorite farmer at farmer's market, he just gave us all these extra awesome produce. Like he's like, oh, well, try my new batch of broccolini. Oh, here, let me get you the good ones. And it's just awesome. So when you really are there often and you get to make those connections with the farmers, you get extra perks.
Totally. And it's seasonal. And so you're always getting something new. You go there and then they have a different thing on display. I remember one time we stumbled across beans.
Oh my gosh, that was fun.
And they were like multicolored beans, like different colors of the rainbow with pink and white, mixed all these different beans. And I didn't even know. And they grow right here on the Central Coast.
Yeah, they were delicious too. And what I love is that each town has its own farmers market that's unique to what they grow. So the Morro Bay Farmers Market, Los Osos, Morro Bay, they have all their avocados. And then they also have really unique crafts and art. And then there's the South County farmers markets. And San Luis actually has two different farmers markets, one downtown on Thursdays and then one in the Madonna Shopping Plaza on Saturdays. So you get to see two different types of produce and offerings at each of those markets.
And the local restaurants take a lot of the agricultural products locally and they bring it to you. Like Sally Lou's is a great example of a local restaurant that is always having fresh produce. And it tastes amazing.
Yep. And there's a farmer's market cookbook. A local lady wrote a book on how to cook foods only sourced from the farmer's market, which is just awesome. So it's, supporting our local farmers, but that farm to table culture is alive and well throughout our county.
Right. So if you like food, you like healthy food, then SLO County is a great spot to be.
Yep. And there's so many great restaurants that tie into what we would think is the third reason why you should move here is because of the food and the wine culture. There's amazing wineries all throughout North County and Paso Robles. They're pretty like neck and neck with Napa. And I wish I was more in the know about wine culture. I really don't drink much of it, but I have heard that they're always winning these awards. There's over 300 wineries in Paso Robles, and it's just exploded and become, what would be the next Napa in California.
It has world-class wineries with Dow, Tobin James. There's so many different great wineries. And a lot of times you can just go do a tasting. And then if you like it, you can sign up and become a wine club member.
Yeah.
You get shipments every single quarter.
Yeah. And then you get to take people for free. And then a lot of the wineries even have restaurants associated with them now, or food trucks. So you can just make a whole event out of it. A lot of them are family friendly, where you can bring your kids, and you don't have to drink the wine if you want to go. You can just hang out with your friends and have a great time. But it is really one of the biggest things that has put our county on the map is the wine culture. And so many people we come across know about Paso Robles already because of the wine industry.
And Edna Valley too. So that's another thing about wine. It's so depending on the climate. So we have all these different microclimates around the county. So Edna Valley in San Luis Obispo has completely different wine tasting notes than the Paso Robles wines. So if you're into wine, it could be great just to go out every weekend and you could sample so many different wineries. You would have so many options. You could do one a day, for almost a whole year in Paso alone, just tasting all the different wineries.
Oh man. Yeah. Well, I think it's just such a fun part of our county, and it really has made tourism explode in our area. As people come here for bachelorette parties, they come here for weddings, they come here for just vacation. And a lot of it is incorporating going to all the wineries.
Totally. With the Airbnbs and things, people are always coming to our county to enjoy the food and the wine.
Yep. Yeah. And of course, like we mentioned earlier, one of the other top reasons why we love living here is because of the top tier education. So we are proud Cal Poly alumni, and so are a few of our family members, almost all of our friends, and a lot of Cal Poly alumni stay in the area after graduating because it's so amazing to live here. And I think it helps keep us forever young because we're around college students. Like this morning, I was out playing tennis and I met some Cal Poly girls, and I felt like I was in school right with them. And it was so fun to connect. And that's what's so awesome about our area, especially if you're in city limits of San Luis Obispo, then you get to meet Cal Poly students all the time. And it's just inspiring what they're doing, how hard they work, the senior projects they're working on. Each class gets more and more competitive, with high school students just getting, 5.0s now to get into Cal Poly. It's amazing.
Yeah. The population of San Luis Obispo is 45,000 people, and the attendance at Cal Poly is about 20,000. So if you think about it, how does that math pencil out? And so there's always this young spirit across the town. There's just this youthful energy. Every single summer, it gets a little bit quiet because the students are home. Yeah. And then when fall opens up, they come back to school and it just becomes even more alive. And what that also brings, because there's such a top tier institution here, that brings in really talented artists and musical people come in. They've got great speakers that come. They just had Wozniak come from Apple, one of the founding members. And so they're always bringing in people to talk at the university. So if you like learning, if you like culture and arts, they have an amazing performing arts program. And it's just a great spot where you can get access to knowledge, culture, and that youthful energy.
And you're always surrounded by professors too. I mean, we used to be neighbors with a Cal Poly professor, and we learned a lot from him. And you just meet smart people everywhere you go because of the Cal Poly influence. And everyone is so Cal Poly proud here, even if you didn't end up going to the school. It's just so fun going to the football games, the soccer games, all of the sporting events. You put on your green and gold and you cheer for this team, and it's just a blast.
It is. So now number 5, there's so many charming communities here on the Central Coast, and each town has its own culture, its own vibe. There's a different dynamic. Like if you go to Cambria, really artistic. If you go to Paso Robles, there's that big food scene. If you go to Pismo, they've got that beach town energy. And so every single town has a different charming characteristic about it.
I know that is what's really cool is if you're looking for more of like a beachy vibe, then you can leave the quote unquote city life of San Luis and go down to Pismo or Avila, go kayaking in Morro Bay. If you want great food or more of like a country vibe, you can go up to Paso Robles or Templeton. And obviously we're partial to San Luis Obispo city limits, and it's fun. You get that Cal Poly culture, and then you also get the historic charm of the downtown, and the homes there are from the 1900s, and you're like, oh, that's so fun. And I hope your plumbing and electrical are all upgraded because it's been 100 years, but it's still so charming. And, it's just really unique to live in a county that is so diverse.
Mm-hmm. And that's an important consideration too. If you're thinking about moving here, you want to experience the culture and the vibe of each town before you make a commitment. And so that's why sitting down with a local real estate professional to kind of go through what are my interests, what do I like, what am I passionate about, can help you kind of make that match. And then of course, experience it yourself. Go to the farmer's market, go to Pismo Beach and experience what a weekend is like. Get the clam chowder from Woolies right there on the water. There's so many different things you can do when you're considering making that move.
Yeah. And you make a good point too about experiencing the towns, because you might get a job in San Luis Obispo and the drive to and from Paso Robles to San Luis might be harder, and you won't really know until you're living in it. Or you might be moving from a big city where traffic is normal. And so driving 30 minutes without traffic is amazing. And it gives you time to listen to different podcasts and music. So it's really, a great way to experience where you want to live by being here first, maybe doing an Airbnb for a couple months. And then you'll know, hey, this is a town I want to live in based upon my lifestyle.
Okay. Number 6, it's a family-friendly environment. And there's always something going on. Every weekend, it seems like there's a different event or activity going on. They have the holiday parades. They've got the 4th of July parades. They've got the Morro Bay kayak parade. There's just so many fun activities always going on in SLO County.
Oh yeah, especially at Christmas time with the Cambria Christmas Market too, and they do Santa's house at the Mission, and there's so much. But yes, I love the number of parks that are available. A lot of them are walking distance to a number of neighborhoods. And the schools are great, and it's really encouraged that you bring your kids along to events. You can always find, the adults only type groups that you want to join, but otherwise, in general, it's encouraged that you bring your kids along and have them experience our culture.
And there's so many new communities springing up that are walkable and family friendly, like the SLO Ranch, for example. Like they've got this whole new commercial development there where you could buy a townhouse and then you can walk and go get coffee or go to the grocery store. And it's all right there within walking distance. They have an amazing park. There's a lot of great parks on the coast too for families. So
yeah, exactly. It is very family friendly here, pretty much in any town that you go to throughout the county. And that leads us into the lifestyle, right? We have a more laid back lifestyle. We call it the SLO Life, SLO, short for San Luis Obispo. And the SLO Life is alive and well in our area. We even have a magazine called SLO Life Magazine. And it's just so awesome to not feel the hustle and bustle of, a big town like maybe New York or Los Angeles or San Francisco. You still have high quality jobs, but you don't have that added pressure. It's much more relaxed. And our local Chamber of Commerce is so welcoming and friendly. Yes. And it's just a really slower paced community, but it also is as active as you want it to be too. Like there's tons of people running and doing triathlons. Like Owen does the Morro Bay Triathlon every November. And so you can get people who live a really active lifestyle and then also find those that just want to go to a coffee shop and read books. And, we do all of those things.
Yes, the SLO Life is really one of the special things about our area. And we almost get spoiled at times where if something is a 13-minute drive away, oh, that's too far. I can't go that far. That's like on the other side of town. You have to go over Johnson, you got to go around. And it's just, we get really spoiled. And there isn't even like any traffic going on. It's just stoplights getting in the way between you and the other side of town that causes you to slow down. You're like, ah. So that being said, it is so easy to get around. And within 30 minutes, you can get to a lot of places on the county with all the different towns that there are. And so what it really does, living in San Luis Obispo, since there is just a lower population, you have less hustle and bustle, you have less traffic, you have less of the grind where growing up in the Bay Area, it was always like you're racing to get places and people are hustling, keeping up with the Joneses. Whereas on the Central Coast, it just feels like people are more down to earth and they care about you as a person and they care about nature. And so if you're looking for that change of pace and balancing your life, not just prioritizing work, but you're looking for that true balance of the in between, having a place with the family that you can raise them safely and with clean natural environment all around them, SLO County is a great spot for that.
Yeah, definitely. And that leads us also into one of another huge reason why we love living here. And that's just the natural beauty all around us. We have the iconic Morro Bay Rock in our county where it's Finding Dory, the Finding Nemo #2, right? They talk all about Morro Bay, and that's where our town is. That's where we are. You also have amazing hikes all throughout the entire county, but especially in San Luis Obispo.
Mm-hmm.
Bishop Peak is a very popular one. And then we have the state park, Montana de Oro. Gorgeous
so
views from
there.
those bluff trails, and it just attracts a number of tourists to our area.
Mm-hmm.
So it really is the nature lover's paradise, because you get a mix of ocean plus mountains whenever you want. You don't have to go far if you want to go on a hike, or if you just want to have a relaxing beach day. It's all within a 10-15 minute drive.
Yeah, so it's really popular to have mountain bikers out in our beautiful mountains going up on the trails, the hills. We've got a lot of great trails out there. Surfing is a really big thing. Just people go to Morro Bay, Avila, Pismo. You can get in the water, get out of the water super easily, and just enjoy the beauty of the Central Coast. So, and then if you want to go up and explore, we have California Valley, the Carrizo Plain, where they have these super blooms of wildflowers.
Oh, yeah, that's fun.
And there's so many little pockets of our county. Almost every month, we're like, let's go do something new. Let's explore. Let's find a new trail. And so there are endless amounts of activities outdoors that you can explore.
Yeah. And I love too, a number of our local artists are always making art pieces based upon our town and our community. People go all over the world and they find these natural, beautiful mountains and peaks and preserves. And we have them all right here that our local artists are constantly painting, what Bishop's Peak looks like, or what Madonna Mountain looks like, or Montana de Oro, or Shell Beach. And it's all right here. So everyone who lives here loves living here. And that's all we want in our home is pictures of our own town hung up on as art pieces. I know. House.
And the sunsets, you get these incredible sunsets on the water, on the ocean, and the colors are just so surreal and beautiful and fresh. And that leads us to number 9, which is the weather.
Yes.
SLO weather is the best. And it really is. It's about 70 degrees mostly throughout the entire year. It's not too hot, not too cold. It's kind of like the Goldilocks temperature of just right. And we're really grateful to have that, where we don't get snow. We don't get, any big storms. It's really just like a sweet little gem of a temperature.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. You can go out pretty much any time of day to do any activity you want. You can go play tennis early in the morning and then go surfing later, or go on a hike. And there really isn't a bad time to go and do this. All seasons are great. It's a pretty moderate climate all year long. Sometimes you get like the 3 days of the heat wave, and then sometimes for maybe a week you're just freezing cold with your fireplace on. But otherwise, it's perfect.
I know.
It really is perfect.
It is a Mediterranean climate, which is just like really ideal, the sweet spot here on the coast. And it is something special. If you haven't had a chance to just visit and explore and spend a weekend in San Luis Obispo County, you got to come just for the weather to experience it and see what it's like.
Yeah. Yeah. And our last and probably one of our most favorite reasons why we love living in San Luis Obispo County is the strong sense of community. I mean, the people here are amazing. Everybody loves living here. Everybody is going to work really hard in order to live here. And everybody is so kind and welcoming.
Happy.
Yes. Everyone is so happy who lives here. And probably because the weather's awesome.
Exactly. They're outside getting sun, vitamin D, and outdoor exercise activity. You get the sense of belonging in a community here.
Yep.
And so we've even been dubbed the name happiest town in America by Oprah Winfrey before because of how happy people are to be here. And I remember when we were students at Cal Poly, that was something that was very obvious. You'd walk around campus lost. Hey, I'm lost. Where do I go? And everyone was happy and nice and wanted to support you in that. And then when you go to the farmer's market and you meet people downtown, everyone is smiling and laughing, having a good time, going to the restaurants, getting the food, drinking the wine, tasting and experiencing. And so really the number one thing is it's a happy, healthy community that people love to be a part of. And so if that's what you're looking for, a place where you can be happy, you can be whole, you can enjoy everything from the outdoors to the weather, to the food, to building a family and a community, then the Central Coast and San Luis Obispo County is for you.
Absolutely. And I think during the COVID years, however long that was, a year and a half for our community, everyone showed up for each other. That was the moment where it really stood out that we were Central Coast strong. You know, we were here for each other, and we made sure that we were resilient through that really hard time. And everyone was so thankful for the extra help that they received if they needed it during those years. And it was just really beautiful to be part of a community that was so resilient during such an extremely challenging time. And ever since, I feel like the town's even closer. Really. And overcomers in that regard. So it's really such a special community. And we hope if you haven't been here before that you have the opportunity to come out and visit. And if you really are considering making a permanent move here, let's chat, because we would love to learn more about you, what you're looking for, and help you find the best community for your needs. So thanks for tuning in to our show today, and long live the SLO Life.